Hi guys, my name is Steve. This is my first video. Well, actually it's like my 15th video, but this is the first one that seems to have worked. I made several before, and I have a LifeCam 5000 HD, but for some reason it keeps distorting sound, or the sound cuts out, or the video skips. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but it's really getting on my nerves. So anyway, this is my coming out story. It's not real long, but I'll kind of go through the way things started for me and where I am today, and some of the things that I went through otherwise. I first realized I was gay when I was about 13 years old, and, it was something that just clicked in my head. I really, unlike a lot of the videos I've seen, I don't recall there ever being somebody that I looked at and said, whoa, he is hot. And then, thinking, okay, I might be gay, whatever. There was no question for me. It was, I am what I am. And I just kind of, thought, well, yeah, I am what I am, but don't say anything, because life is difficult enough, right now, kind of thing. So, I wasn't real well liked in my school. I was the only person in a wheelchair. A lot of people didn't understand, at least this was more in my class versus the rest of the school. My classmates didn't understand why things were different for me, why why if I showed up 3 minutes late for class, I wouldn't get yelled at. They seemed not to understand those things. So, they didn't like me, and I thought, well, yeah, saying anything about this would make that even worse. So I really didn't say anything, and it wasn't until I started college that I really started to explore. I did that by going on the internet and looking to talk to people. And I created a profile on a certain website, and to me, it was like the underworld of the gay community. It was like these gross people that all they wanted was just sex, 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 sex all the time. And it's really not what I was looking for. I was looking for people to talk to. But because of that, experience and having to create a profile for that website, somebody found that profile who was himself gay, and then forwarded it to two mutual friends of ours, and all of a sudden I got a call and an email saying, I'm gonna, look at what I got, and do you have something you want to tell me? Which was really, really, that was bad. That was, don't ever do that to anybody, because that's never the way you want, you want it to go. It's just not ever the way you want it to go. It's because I wasn't ready to, I still wasn't ready to share it with anybody. Because again, I just thought I had enough on my plate, and I just wanted to discover more of who I was and to understand more of who I was before I started coming out. And I think that experience really kind of shoved me in the closet even further, because when you have somebody forcefully asking you, and so abruptly, it's like you're not expecting it. It's they drop this bombshell on you, and you don't know what to do. And of course, I couldn't deny it because um, it was obviously me. So yeah, that was my first interaction with people knowing, and after that, it took me probably another 2 years before I even thought of telling somebody else. And it was because of that experience that it took me so long. And, um, I started to have this problem where, you know, my grades were suffering at school, and all this other stuff was happening, and it was all because of my mental state. I was just kind of going a little bit bonkers. That nobody I wanted to know, nobody that I trusted, nobody that I could sit and talk to, knew about me. So that was what kind of drove me to finally make the cognitive choice to tell somebody versus having it forced on me. And that was to my best friend's mother. And I told her because she has a sister who is a lesbian, and she also has a brother-in-law who is gay. So I figured of all people that I knew, I figured she would be, the most accepting, and that could not be more true. She's still one of the people I call whenever I have a problem. And it really allowed me to, have that person to talk to about just this subject. Because at that time I started what was a friendship. I had feelings for him right off the bat, after we had been doing stuff for a while, we were going. Oddly, we bonded over Catholic Church. I still kind of think that's funny. But after we had been doing that for a while, and I'd go over to his place and watch movies, and then I'd sleep over, on the floor. He'd sleep on the couch, which is still his thing. He likes to sleep on the couch. He's a weirdo. And if you can see my couch behind me, it's not real big. But anywho, I started this relationship, and I really needed, guidance. I didn't know what to do. This is a unique situation for both of us. I'm in a wheelchair, so people in general have some questions on, it's just weird for people, and I get it. It's the fear of the unknown and all this other stuff. So, it was that I told her, and again, that was the last person I told for probably another year, and I just sprinkled in a few more after that, and then, everything was good, and then I started to mentor a few people, and I was like, well, I can't mentor these people and not live by my own, advice, and I really felt the need, and well, not the need. That makes it sound like I forced myself to do it. Like I wasn't ready. But I felt the urge to finally tell my mom. It had been months in coming, and it kept going in my head, and I'd talk to her on the phone, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna just blurt it out, and I didn't want to do that, but anywho, I ended up calling her, and all the time I was thinking while the phone was ringing, well, what if she actually doesn't take it well? She had always told us when we were growing up, you can tell us anything, you can tell me anything, it's never going to change the way I feel about you. Um, and I thought, no way, this is going to be a bombshell on it, and she's not going to know how to react, and she's going to flip out, and yeah, it's going to be just awful. But I told her, and it was like the least like exciting thing, ever. She was like, after she got over the initial, you're joking with me, quit joking around with me. She was like, oh, okay. Um, and I'm shaking and I'm, starting to cry. And she's like, why are you crying? It's nothing to cry about. I still love you the same way and all that. And I was like, but, I'm 28 and I wanted to tell you years ago. And I feel like I've left you, out of my life for so long. I've had a 5-year relationship with somebody and they didn't know about it, or she didn't know about it. I didn't tell my dad, and that's something I need to work on. But yeah, that's been my coming out story so far. I can go into more detail if you have questions. Um, a big thing, that I've struggled with throughout this, even when I was trying to go out and meet people, was, the balance of me being in a wheelchair, having a disability, and getting people to not recognize me, but respect me for who I am and understand who I am before they make snap judgments. I'm a bigger guy, but it's not because I, eat 20 meals a day or something. I do a lot of running in my chair, so I have huge upper body muscles, and, I could snap most people in half, but, people don't look at that, they don't care. I've noticed that there's a lot of shallow people out there, so, I still struggle with that, and I still don't know. I'm going to tell my dad, and I'll update you guys on how that goes. If you want to leave me a comment and let me know if you think having my mom tell him would be a good thing, or if you think that's like disrespecting my dad, I would really like that advice. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Please feel free to leave comments if you have any questions, whether it's about my coming out story, about me in general, or about my disability. I will be happy to answer any questions. I do this on a daily basis, talk about, disabilities, and I also talk about service dogs, as that's what I do for a living, so I really have there's no question that you probably could answer that I haven't been asked before. So I hope you all have a great day. It's like 4:15 in the morning here, so I gotta get this over with, but I will hopefully get some comments and make some more videos, so enjoy.